We need a contact with Flat Earther expert.
Flat Earther expert.
Before we get into any of this, what is your thoughts on this whole...
Really?
Yeah, Flat Earth thing. I remember hearing about it in, like, history.
I
thought
people were just trolling, but then, like, turned into this thing where, like, no, they're actually fucking real about it.
I just always thought, I was like, oh, it's the olden days, and I didn't know it, like, somehow kept its way up till now.
They said they figured out that the Earth was round back in, like, when Romans were around.
I thought this was all dismissed when Columbus tried to sail to India, and he was like, I'll just go this way, and ended up on the other side and was like, what the fuck's this place?
Yeah.
I didn't fall off the earth, guys.
I didn't fall off. I made it back. Don't worry. I killed a bunch of people, but...
He showed up in what the hell was it? The Key West thing. It was like, I'm in India. You people look different.
No, I'm not an Indian.
Yes, you are. You are an Indian.
Goddamn Indian.
And here we are.
And here we are. People are just like, oh, but I look, and it looks flat, so it is flat.
Well, that's the problem with perception. I mean, you're on a giant sphere I can't even fathom how small you are in comparison to it. Of course it's going to seem flat. You're standing on it.
They say that it's a flat, and then it's raising up.
Yes, I read that. We'll get into all this theories.
They think it's a sun that just, like, spotlights.
Did you see any of the diagrams?
Yeah, I seen some. I seen a bunch of them, really. There's a guy who makes, like, a model of it. I'd kind of like that. But they're kind of expensive.
You make your own model. Just get you a lamp and spin. Put the thing in it just... like a spotlight. So I guess it resurfaced. Modern flat Earth resurfaced in 1816 to 1884 when this guy was like,
He created, what, Zion?
Yeah.
The town Zion. And, like...
And Zeilitric astronomy.
He didn't even, like, try to convince people. He just, like, you're going to believe this or you're not going to be here.
Yeah, basically. Because the Bible shows nothing of saying anything that the earth is round. I don't think they were fucking too concerned with the shape of the earth.
No.
Back then, they were worried about, I don't want to be stuck to a cross or my head chopped off.
Yeah.
But, so they believe, like you said, it's a saucer with the North Pole in the center and Antarctica surrounding the outside like a giant ice wall to keep everything in. And that they said NASA monitors that. So when airplanes go, they don't fly around the Earth. They just fly in a big circle. But the illusion that you're going around the Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, and they say they don't really understand what's underneath it. They just think it's rocks. On the opposite side of the disc.
Yeah. What would you think it was? Where does lava come from?
I mean, they can't be like, well, lava's fake, because there's shit always happening all the time, especially in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically they still don't know what's at the center of the Earth, but they're pretty positive it's lava and magma. I mean, you can dig down. They dig that hole. They dug that hole in Russia. They tried to go. It was so many, I don't know, it was a couple miles or something deep before they got so far. Then they stopped. They couldn't get any more rigs to work, and they didn't hit any lava or anything.
No.
So, I mean, it's not like
There's
it's...
some weird sounds coming out.
Yeah, they put a microphone down in there, and they called it the sounds from hell.
Yeah.
And it sounded like...
people screaming.
Howling and shit like that. Like, some scientists were trying to say it was just the same effect you get from pulling the seashell to your ear, or the air circulating.
Yeah.
But I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Nor do
Some creepy sounds coming up. But I don't know. They don't say anything about lava or the center in any of the documents I read.
No, because it's all fucking... They give you an excuse for one thing, but then that excuse is debunked by the next thing, and then...
No, like you said, they also believe that the sun and the moon are 3,000 miles above. That's it. And they're the same exact size. Mm. And there's an anti-moon.
Which is, I mean, that was like the only thing I was like, well, this does kind of make sense. Like, what are the odds that the sun is just far enough away to be the exact size as the moon?
I mean, it is in distance. It's I forget what they said. It's That's why the eclipses line up.
Yeah, I know.
But
because the sun is far enough away to where it looks small enough to be as big as the sun or the moon.
So when it overlaps, it just overcovers it. Well, they're saying about this, and then they say an anti-moon. So I was thinking they had their little diagram of the saucer and the two oscillating to where it's day here, day there. But if it's flat, wouldn't you still have some line of sight of the sun?
You would think.
Because it's not like when the Earth spins, it's disappearing behind the horizon, so you're facing the complete opposite way. But they don't say anything about that in there.
No.
And they said an anti-moon, which they don't explain anything what the anti-moon is that covers up the moon in the daytime.
Nope.
Oh, God. I'm just trying to figure out how people read this and get convinced. You know who gets convinced? That dude that needs relief.
That's true. That man don't believe everything.
I don't know.
That's just kid stuff.
I'm reading this shit, and I'm like, I never really read about it. But it's just some of the stuff.
Well, I'd read about it, and then I just got mad. I'm like, how does any of this make sense? And then they're like, well, NASA's just lying to you.
So after that... yeah. Well, they also believe in that space doesn't exist.
Yeah, I know.
Did you ever hear about that? The fake space theory?
But I don't know how they think that works.
Well, they don't ever explain like what they think. They say the Earth's floating and it's moving up.
Yeah.
Well, what is around it? They say that the Earth's a disk and it's in the dome.
Yep.
That's why our atmosphere is capturing that. But they don't explain anything of what else is. It's just there.
It's just there. It's just that. And it's moving up like, what, 9.8 meters or something?
Yeah, something. 32 feet per second. Something like that. I don't know. That's why they explain gravity. That's why you're held to the Earth. Because it's constantly flowing up. Flowing up.
It's constantly flowing up.
Yeah, so that guy died in 1956. They started it back up. Another flat Earth organization in England.
The modern flat Earth.
He said every NASA thing that they show you from space has always been altered to make you convinced, but they don't ever explain why. What would be the purpose? Like you said,
the kids that throw up like GoPros with the weather
balloon? What they were saying. They said if you really want to, they said you can do this. Just get permission to get a weather balloon, tie a GoPro on it, and you can send it up to the peak. I can't remember how many feet it is. The atmosphere, and there's videos online of the GoPros up there, and you can see it gets so high, and you can see the curve.
Yeah,
it's right at the peak of the where it's gonna
or something.
But they said that people have done that, but
how do you disprove that?
I don't understand. What would be the point of NASA convincing somebody that the Earth is round? What is the benefit?
I know. And why is it just not? What about Elon Musk and SpaceX or whatever?
I just don't understand.
What about the car that's...
Like, I mean, whether it's round or flat, whether you want to believe, your day's still going to... What's going to change? What's NASA's point of, yes, we got the whole planet fooled. But then they do these experiments, too, of why everything in the universe is round. Well, they'll take two marbles and throw them at each other, and once they hit, they'll start to circle. They said it's just gravity's natural thing of two opposite momentums are going to keep their momentum, but they're just going to circle around each other, and they're going to collect more.
Yeah.
So it's just going to naturally form a sphere, especially in space where there's no resistance or anything for it to touch. I mean, you can take a little pebble and throw it in the snow. It's going to fucking make a ball as it rolls down the damn hill.
Well, that's why they say that it's moving up, because they think gravity's not real. So that's how they explain that.
I don't
know. I don't know either. I tried to believe. I did. I just couldn't.
Like, I don't...
They have they just, like I said, you give them one point, and then they'll try to disprove that, but then you'll try to like give them another point that disproves their first point, but then they'll make up something else.
They're talking about because people were saying like, oh, well, it looks flat because That rapper B.O.B. tweeted that one day. He said, well, no matter how high you go up, the Earth always looks flat. I don't want to believe it either. Well, yeah, you're nowhere near where you need to be. Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about how globes are inaccurate because he goes, if you run your hand along a globe, you can feel you can feel mountain ranges and stuff. He said it's not. He said the Earth is so big compared to stuff that if you could size it down and run your hand over it, it'd be smoother than any cue ball ever made because of the size difference. He goes, you'd have no idea that there was any mountain ranges there. He's like, the biggest mountain in the world, the lowest depth. I forget what that thing. He goes, you'd have no idea. It'd be the smoothest ball you've ever touched in your life.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah. And you think about it, you stand next to a tree and you feel tiny. You're, like I said, a grain of pepper on a giant 10-foot beach ball. Even smaller than that.
I was saying, even smaller than that.
Like, of course it's going to seem flat.
Yeah.
I tried. I read the stuff. I tried to open your mind. Opening my mind.
Open your mind.
But I just don't see.
Like I said, that's why I was like, well, that's the only part that was like almost kind of convincing was the sun and moon. Like, they're the exact same size.
I can see that.
And how coincidental that would have to be, which is insane. Because the sun would have to be a certain size and a certain distance away from the Earth. And then the moon would have to be a certain size and a certain distance away.
For it to line up perfectly.
Yeah.
But all the other shit that
And then they pass each other. Which is even crazier. But I mean...
But I don't know. The whole ice wall thing, that they're guarding that to keep anybody from going over. That's what's keeping the waters in.
Yeah, they don't know what's beyond that.
They just fall off. They don't explain that. They just fall off.
Who made the ice wall? Just there.
It's just there. And it just flattened out and...
I don't know either.
I don't know. I could see the old days thinking it because you just open your door and like, yeah, it looks flat. But you can say they even did experiments because they said about, boats. You'll see them. So they did, all these scientists did these experiments. They sending a boat straight out when they're on the dock that they'll disappear nose first because they're
Bottom
peeking.
first.
Yeah, you will just see the end and they'll slowly. Yeah. Which, how they explain that? Because I can't fucking speak. You'll be at the beach. We were down at Virginia Beach and they had these big cargo freight liners, and you'll see them go, and then they're just gone. So what the fuck do you think's happening?
I know.
If it's flat, you should be able to at least see a tiny. It should just get smaller and smaller and smaller, not just vanish.
Hey, you should be able to take out a telescope and look that way.
Yeah, and you should be able to look and see the land on the other side then. Yep. But you can't. It disappears over the horizon.
Yep, they go bye-bye.
I mean, it's crazy. What do you think they did? Oh, they fell off.
They're gone.
Damn it. We lost another one.
Never to be seen again.
I don't know. I never looked into it, did research. But, whew, some of shit was, I thought maybe. I was like, I hope I don't read this and have an epiphany. Like, oh my God. Oh, this shit makes sense.
Oh, this is real.
My whole life is a lie.